So now we're going to go through feet and legs and glutes with the client face down. Before we start, I'd just like to quickly talk about the draping with the client in the face down position. We have the client completely covered in towels. The feet, it's really nice to tuck the towel or blanket over the feet so that they just feel nice and cozy and secure. And then over the top, optional, depending on temperature, you can put a blanket. I'll show you the actual, the way that we move the blankets to do the back massage in another video. And just for now, you will see that there's a bolster under the ankles or a pillow. This just takes the pressure off the lower back and it's comfy for the legs. Okay, so to work on the feet, it's good practice to start with the cleaning the feet. Even if the client's feet might be clean, it's just a nice thing to do. Just keeps everything hygienic and kind of, it's all part of the service. It just feels comforting and relaxing just to get some attention in this way as well. And it just helps keep things nice and clean, hygienic. It's not necessary today with Gabby, but sometimes people have a lot of sock fluff, so it's quite useful with that. Okay, so just place that to the side. Sometimes it's nice, especially when it's cold, just to start on the feet. Just do some compressions to help warm up. And if you're starting a treatment from the feet, compressions are always a good way. Compressions through the towel, they're a good way to introduce the move, just to start the massage off with that barrier of the towel. It's just relaxing and helps people move from when they're fully clothed, getting changed, lying down, to having a massage. Just anything that we do through the towel is kind of comforting in that way. Okay, so we'll start off on this foot and the leg. So we apply the oil. Just apply to your hands first. I'm going to stay sat down actually for the feet. So we can guide the foot through the hand, just hold it like so. It's not a deep move. The deeper, firmer moves are done with a forearm, more or less. These are just the warming up moves. And it's a nice way to moisturise the ankles as well and the heels. So, I'm going to apply the forearm here to achieve some pressure. Same part that we use for the other methods, we just use this part of the arm. Support the foot underneath and slide up. Use your whole body weight to lean into that. You can access the arch of the foot, the sole. It does feel nice to use your hands, but it can be quite tiring for your thumbs to do this constantly. A little bit here, where people often have a lot of tension, can be quite nice. If I'm honest though, when I'm doing a treatment, I mainly just use the forearms here. And you can even apply more pressure in the middle of the foot here with the forearm, kind of with the elbow. You can work the ankle a little bit. You have options here. you can use your fingers and you kind of group them together and work around the ankle. Or you can try with your forearm here. So for positioning, keep your shoulders low, your front legs bent, back legs straight, and that way you can lever yourself up or down. You can glide over the inner ankle with your forearm. Slow and steady. I'm going to show the exact same thing on the other side, so you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing there. Same again on this side, just match the contours of the ankle. So when you finish working on the feet, just cover it over, keep it nice and cozy. I'm going to start on the leg. So sometimes when you uncover the leg, the hand is in the way on the side, so you can just ask the client if that's okay to dangle off. If it's uncomfortable for them, you can just say they can move it back, but usually it's quite comfortable to dangle the arm off the table. So make sure everything here is secure with the towel. Keep a nice line of where you're going to work. Apply the oil into your hand. Warm it through. Just light moves here to spread the oil. This is a very light touch. We're not trying to manage any main tension, it's just to spread the oil and to start off with a relaxing move. One hand on top of the other in a lunge position, so your back legs straight, front legs bent. Keep your arms straight, shoulders low, just glide forward. When you go over the back of the knee, just release the pressure. You're moving all the way up to the top of the thigh. If it's quite cold and you feel their skin's quite cold, you can do this move for longer to warm the muscles. So what we're doing is lighter moves now in order to warm up before we do the firmer moves. And again, I'm going to repeat it on the other leg so you'll get to see exactly what's going on. So this move is called ringing. Imagine ringing a towel. We've got one hand on each side and we're moving from side to side, dragging the hands over. If I was to do this staying still, I'd be straining my shoulders and chest. Whereas if I move my whole body round, my feet are shimmying round, it's a lot more comfortable on my shoulders. You don't need a really firm pressure here because it's just going to be labour intensive for you. The firmer pressure we do with our forearms. You could do that one a few times, it feels great. So, for the next move, it's forearms. So, this part here, place down, back leg back, front leg bent, then we've got our lunge position. We're going to travel with this. So we're pressing down but easing off on the back of the knee. So to get this lowness of height, I'm really bent a lot down. Otherwise I'd be craning over with my back, and it's not ideal. How's this pressure here, Gabby? Would you like more or less? More is fine, good. And here? More or less? A bit more. Okay, so we can do this across the middle here, and then when we want to access the sides some more, there's different options. So for the outer edge, I'm going to use this arm here. If I was to do this, I'd be kind of bent round a bit, so you're going to have to see which arm's most comfortable for you. And it's good practice to guide your arm with your hand. Same again on the upper thigh. When you get to the top, you'll feel the bone, so that's when you ease the pressure off, because you don't want to massage over bone. In order to access here on the inner calf, there's two options. Well, there's three. One, we use our hands like so. So you have one hand in front of the other to reinforce them. All the while, keep an awareness that your shoulders are low. Bit on the side of the knee. It can sometimes be a little bit awkward to access this inner leg here using our forearm. I'm bending quite low to do this. But sometimes when you really want to, say for example with runners or someone with a lot of leg tension, it can be useful to gently hold the leg up and to massage the inner leg here. Use your forearm. So travel down with it. So as I move downwards, my legs are moving down. Okay, don't tend to work much on the inner thigh unless someone has a specific injury. You can just sort of work the bit above the knee. You have to be really careful moving further than that. Sometimes it can seem a little bit intimate. So just the sort of section above the knee is advised for this. Okay. So to show you working on the glutes, we do this through the towel and blankets. So you're locating the area that we're working on it, and it's here, it's the upper and mid glutes. You can actually move the client's arm back, especially if it's a chillier room, you want them to be cozy. So we place our forearm down and find an area that isn't bone, that's the mid and the upper glutes. We apply some lighter pressure just so we feel like we've got a bit that feels like it's the right spot, like there's a bit of tension there, so it'll be useful to work on. And I'm going to apply some pressure down here and just communicate with the client. So even though I'm leaning over to work on this area, I'm not hunched over, I'm hinging at the hips. So that's important for the posture. How's this pressure here? Would you like more or less? Yeah? If someone's got a lot of hip tension, you can really work for a long time here and really help them work through it by asking them to take some deep breaths. Would you like more or less pressure here? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show you the same as before on this side. useful to move the client's legs a little further apart, just so you've got that space to access the whole of the leg. It's also better for the lower back if the legs are moved apart. It just takes the pressure off. So using the forearm to move over the contours of the foot and the arch of the foot, supporting the foot from underneath with our hand. You have to be careful here as there's been an injury, but it's quite useful to massage this area of the ankle with the forearm. Just do it very lightly today. Same again on the inner ankle. As I showed you before, you can use your forearm like so, or just use your hands like so. So you saw on the other side the movements like this. Just use both your hands as a support. And then cover the foot back over, make sure it's nice and cozy. So on this side you can see the client's hand is kind of in the way, so I just gently dangle it off the table. I secure the towels in place just to make sure we've got a nice area to work on. Spread the oil. Then the first move, using the hands one over another. Back straight, front leg bent, back leg back, and just glide over the whole length of the leg up. Being mindful of going over the back of the knee, not applying too much pressure there. I don't like to do this a lot because it can be a strain for your wrists. It's just a nice warm up to start off with. And you can do ringing here. Moving your whole body with each movement so that your shoulders remain low. Again, be careful on the upper leg on the inside that you're not going too high up because it can just seem a little bit inappropriate. For this area here, we're going to use forearms. You can either stay seated or even kneel on the floor if you're having to be quite low for this move. Especially in a longer treatment, that's quite useful. So try with both arms. This arm here, or this arm might feel more comfortable. And then for the sort of middle stretch, just this kind of move. Again, going up here. I'm just going to work a little bit on the inner sort of knee area with my hands. It's just because it's a little bit awkward with your forearm there. So again, reinforcing the hands. And to access the inner leg, I'm going to gently lift the leg up and use my forearm for the inside of the calf here. So for the left leg, use the left arm, right leg, right arm. So just begin near the top, keep your hand loose, and move down with your whole body. How's the pressure? Would you like more or less? Okay, guide the foot back down, don't just let it crash down. Again, keep the foot nice and cozy. And I'm just going to guide the arm back. For the glutes from this side, we want to detect where we're working. So again, upper to middle glute is great. It's where we get a lot of tension if we've been sitting lots or hiking or whatever we've been doing. Everyone needs some work there. So place the forearm down this area. Keep your hand loose. Legs in your wide kind of stance. That's how you lower yourself safely. Would you like more or less pressure here? A little bit more. You can stay in these kind of areas quite a while because the muscles can take it. They're quite thick here and they hold a lot of tension usually, so more is quite good. As long as you're not pressing onto the hip bone, which you would feel, and it's not the lower glutes, it's the middle or upper, then it's going to be useful. Yeah, would you like more or less pressure? A little bit less here, yeah. Nice deep breaths. You can keep one hand supporting your hand here, or you can use the other hand to do some light compressions on the rest of the back.